Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184. 2Rs2Bs, GundamReviews.net. And as we move towards episode 49 of Gundam Age, well, one of the cool things to flash back to at the end of Gundam 00 was that in addition to the fantastic battle between Setsuna and Ribbons in the Reborn's Gundam, that damn Ribbons, well, we got to see the news at the end after the opening theme song, the first one played one more time, that we were going to see the conclusion to Gundam 00 in the movie, and now it's time to have the same conversation because there's been no word yet. But what about speculation? Your opinion as to whether we'll be getting a Gundam Age movie announced in episode 49 to follow up and wrap up the 100-Year War. So let me go through some of the reasons why I thought there could be a movie. 00 revealed it in the end of the last episode. That's coming up. No news being released up to this point is pretty normal based on the precedence of 01 series. But at the end of the day, most long-running animes in Japan do this, whether it was Sailor Moon or One Piece or a million others. There's going to be an annual movie that comes out. So for this kind of thing, they only have to do an extra 120 minutes if they're going to go as long as Awakening of the Trailblazer. That's only 6 episodes, give or take, maybe a little more. They only shot 49 for this, so if you're going to animate the equivalent of 55 episodes, it's not necessarily going to break the bank to make this, and you can imagine that it would have been factored into their budget from day one. Also, in general, Gundam, unlike some of those other shows that I talked about earlier, whether it's Super Sentai or whatever, it doesn't go back to back to back. So we had Seed and a long pause, well, not a long pause before Destiny, and then a long pause before 00, and that was even broken up. And whenever they do a series in between, or whenever they have a break in between series, they tend to do something in between. Whether that's going to be Igloo or Stargazer, Beginning G, or the 00 movie, which certainly filled in before Age came out. And what is that going to do? Well, it's going to give time for Unicorn to wrap up and continue selling gangbusters the way that it should be. And more importantly, for the origin, to whatever form, we know that it's going to be kicked off in anime form, as they've been announcing on various jacket protectors here on the manga. Take that, Kyo. But nonetheless, we're going to have time for Origin to get ready, wrap up Unicorn, and perhaps a movie is going to do a good job in filling in that time frame. In terms of the money, 00 did not make gangbusters in the bank, but it's pretty similar to what an annual One Piece movie is going to make, except for something like Strong World, which made 6 times more, just because Strong World being canon is pretty awesome, and I can't wait to see what they're going to be doing in December. And with 00, the series, it started in October 2007, and it didn't finish until September 2010, so you can see that they can take 50 episodes and a movie and really drag that out. They didn't split this up into Season 1, Season 2, but the movie would really help drag it out and get ready for the big guns in whatever form it's going to be. And on the con side, well, after episode 48, it's definitely not going to be Zehart's counterattack. And how about that tagline where we've got 3 destinies become 1 history? They never mention 4. Overall, it seems like Gundam Age certainly is not being well received online in Japan. There's been a drop-off in plastic model releases in the 3rd generation. There's lots of kits that should be coming out, don't seem to be being. And then you've really got to wonder if they're going to be doing another show. You've got to speculate about the nature of the origin, because we've already got Unicorn getting 2 more episodes. What if the origin is also just going to be a short one-shot movie, or a trilogy as they did with the original theatrical releases after the show was cancelled? What if the origin is actually going to be the filler before we get our next 50-episode fix? Who knows? Lots of speculation, but nonetheless, we've got a 100-year war to wrap up, and we're not there yet in terms of the story or these 3 generations. So if it does actually happen, well, what would that entail? I'd imagine that they introduced Kyo's girlfriend for the purpose of having that 4th generation. Otherwise, he doesn't necessarily need to have a girlfriend who hasn't really done all that much on the show itself. It would also allow for them to introduce the Age Quanta, or whatever they're going to call it, the new Gundam of Age, if this isn't the new already. I suppose they've already broken the trend by having 4 leads and 3 generations, so things are being shattered all over the place in terms of tradition. But with 00 and Awakening of the Trailblazer, in the end, we didn't get that many high grades and only 1 master grade out of it. So if they're looking to sell plastic models, things like Stargazer, they sell some high grades and a movie would do about the same. So anyway, there's lots of reasons why we may, and there's lots of reasons why we may not. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If I had to put money, I'm just going to say yes, there is going to be a movie, because these things are all done all before. But I know absolutely nothing except what we saw with 00. So anyway, everybody, I'm going to put 2 comments down below in Gundam game style. You can do thumbs up to the one. Gundam Age is going to get a movie, and Gundam Age is not. And they're going to focus on something that's going to make old school fans a lot more happy. Anyway, everybody, lots of fun to speculate about the movie and the final episode itself, so stick around for my final review after episode 49. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for playing, and see you next time. Bye. Age getting a movie before my long-awaited one? Come on, it would have been a chance for me and Shin to bury the hatchet and all three of us take on a big bad. Who didn't want to see that?